Well, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining me. And I want to welcome all of my people to the channel here, as well as any new nurse that may be here popping on. And what I wanted to speak to today was the nurses that are starting their own cosmetic practices. So, if you are one of those that was thinking about getting into the cosmetic world, go ahead, raise your hand, let me know in the comments. I want to show you how easy it could be to start your practice with actually one piece of equipment that will be able to do dual treatments for your clients. And you will find that these procedures are very easy technically to learn. Of course, there is a lot to learn about microdermabrasion and also microneedling. And for those of you that don't know who I am, just hopping on, I'm Stephanie Haldick. I'm a registered nurse. I'm owner of RN Faces office here in Cape Charles, but I have been training nurses since 2002 to actually perform procedures like permanent makeup, microdermabrasion, microneedling, dermaplaning. And so today, what I wanted to show you is how to go mobile with microdermabrasion and microneedling and how easy it is to do this. So first of all, let me introduce the Dermafrac. This is the Dermafrac right here. This little baby is a microdermabrasion slash microneedling machine. And this is the setup that I'll be using. So I have myself set up right here, but I'm going to bring it around the side in just a minute. But I wanted to show you I have a mobile cart that I can work with. And what I'll do, let me show you this way. And I have a lovely client here, but this is the setup that I'll be using. So don't be intimidated by procedures where, in the operating room, I would set up all the time and have all these fancy different things that I had to have in order. But I want to show you this is the extent of our setup. So very easy to set it up. I have some cotton swabs, some gloves, some alcohol wipes, and of course my Dermafrac implements, and that's it. I do use a little skincare at the end and the red LED, which you will see. But I'm going to set us back over here, and I'm going to do this procedure. Let me just set up here. And I'm live on TikTok as well if you are so inclined to hop on there. The beauty of microdermabrasion is most people in the world know what microdermabrasion is. So that's not a hard sell, and they may have had microdermabrasion. But there are people that have been intrigued by microneedling but haven't had it. And maybe they've been worried that it was going to hurt or that they would be too red or bloody. So they may have a little pushback. But I'm going to show you how beautiful the Dermafrac works on skin. Now, our model, Cindy here, has had, she's a Dymatome hydrofacial girl in the office. So this is the first time she's actually having a microneedling procedure. And so she'll tell us firsthand how comfortable it is or uncomfortable it is. She can be very honest. This is a little hot water that I use to cleanse the skin with. Kind of keep it handy. And when you're mobile, you don't always have the ability to get to the sink quickly. So I just keep it in a little thermos, and it keeps it nice and warm so that I can go ahead and cleanse my client. And I've already put the cleanser on my pads here. So I do it like this. I just put a little cleanser on the middle of the pad, put it together like a little sandwich, and just moisten it. Now, I wash a face just as if I was in the plastic surgeon's office. They'll say, okay, go cleanse so-and-so. We're going to get started. I don't do one of the elaborate cleanses that the estheticians that I train that do such beautiful cleanses. I'm here to get my job done, to cleanse the skin so that I can get on with the procedure. And I am going to do her face, neck, and her décolleté. And you'll be able to see these a little closer after I move the camera. Set that aside. And then I'd like to go over the skin with a little bit of alcohol. And that just helps actually get a little bit of the soap off, but also degreases the skin so that when I do the microdermabrasion, it will glide better. So I always say I have two hands, and that's why I use two hands to do this type of thing, so I can get it done evenly and in a good time frame. Now, if you're thinking about going mobile, the chair that I'm using comes from Minerva, and that is a company that makes equipment for the spa. And I'll put that in the links below so that if you're interested in it, but it can hold up to 350 pounds. It is just an awesome chair to fold up and take with you. So the Dermafrac, I'm going to put on my microdermabrasion attachment here. And the microdermabrasion that we're using here is actually a crystal impregnated pad on this tip. They're disposable, so they're easy to use. And let me pop this on. And now Cindy's had microdermabrasion before, so she's not. This is nothing new to her. It is the microneedling with the Dermafrac, and we're going to use Rejuvenate Serum today. So, okay. I like to stand when I work, so I'm going to stand. See, she's nice and dry. When I get to do this side, I'll bring the camera around. But this shouldn't hurt. I'll just... So just like doing any other microdermabrasion, if you already do it, you can do the same pattern starting on the forehead. And you know, sometimes people's forehead is a little bony. She's got a little ridge here. So sometimes you'll lose a little bit of suction during your passes. But for you nurses that maybe have never done microdermabrasion, maybe you've had microdermabrasion, we want to do it in a fairly slow fashion. The slower you go, the better the peel. And for this procedure, I'm going to do two different passes, one vertical, one horizontal. So Cindy, how you doing?
Just wonderful.
Okay. And you can see, I don't know if you can see, let me just move this a little bit. If you can see, she's getting nice and pink where I'm working. This is a great resurfacing tool. So the crystal impregnated pad actually will break up dead cells while the suction sweeps them away. So you don't have to push hard on these microdermabrasion pads. All you'll have to do is just let the suction do the work. Sometimes you need to stretch the skin in order to get into all the little nooks and crannies. And I generally say that I like to do the microdermabrasion the way I would like to have it done to me. Turn you this way. This area I like to stretch out really good and get the mask done. This is where we might develop our little crow's feet and things like that. You can see how she's peeling really nicely from this angle. Now I'm going like I'm going in rows, so I'm trying to be very organized so that I give her a nice even peel. I'll work the eyes in just a little bit, but I want to stay away from that tender skin. I'll go ahead and do it a different way. So I'll leave that for now, but you can see the difference. See how nice and pink she is. So for your clients that want just microdermabrasion, this is the perfect tool. And here I like to be just very gentle, just to resurface a little bit. That skin is tender. I can get under the brow bone as well. Okay. And yes, you are peeling good. That's great. I can see the dead cells, and then the vacuum does sweep it away. I've been doing microdermabrasion. I know that's a question that I got just earlier today, for about, well, since 2000. The year 2000 is when I started my skincare business in Colorado as a nurse. Now, for those of you that don't know that I'm a registered nurse, I'm not a licensed esthetician. I was taught to perform these procedures back in the day and actually worked with biogenesis systems back in 2000. So this is no stranger to me, but the Dermafrac this year is my new tool. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to bring this around so we can see the microdermabrasion on this side a little bit closer. There we go. So again, just like I did on the other side, this is the mask. And let's see, make sure you can see that. So I'm going to go vertical, and then I want to go horizontal. And sometimes it might be that I want to go diagonal too. If you're doing three-way, then you can also get that out of the way, do it this way. So you can make 3 different passes with microdermabrasion. I generally won't make more than 3. Now with the Dermafrac microneedling, you can make up to 4 passes with the microneedling, depending on your client's need. So I think you can see that pretty good. Good. Still comfy? Mm-hmm. How's the chair? Is the chair comfy? Oh, good. Generally, our procedures, when we go mobile or even in my own office, the procedures don't usually last more than a half hour. So this chair is super comfortable where they could tend to use it more so. So now I'm going to go diagonal. This cord's going to kill me. I'm used to working from behind, having this behind me. There we go. So I have my suction set at 1 for those that have the Dermafrac, and it does a beautiful job on 1. Just because we have 5 settings doesn't mean that we want to go all the way up to 5. So I'm going to do right around the eye here too. Oh, we've got a little cherry angioma we might need to treat. You know those little cherry spots, Cindy? Mm-hmm. Okay. So I'm going to do her chin now. So the schematic that I usually do the forehead and then one side of the face, and I go back and do the other side. And then I like to come up and do the chin, the upper lip, the nose. And that's just my schematic. It works for me, so I don't miss any spots, and so that I don't go over things twice. So I use the same schematic. And with my microneedling, I might just mix that up a little bit. And when I start the microneedling, I'll show you why. So I don't know if you can see on camera that the skin, how it's peeling so nicely there. And if anybody has any questions, please feel free, shoot, and I'll see if I can see them. I'll get them answered for you. One question that I did get a lot yesterday was, how do I know that as a nurse I can do this? Just open my own office. Well, I've done it in many states and for many years. And as a nurse, there is the Nurse Practice Act. And the Nurse Practice Act, if you go to this event, you'll see, or my email, my last email, I have where Colorado actually had a letter that they sent me that it was fine for me to do microdermabrasion without a physician and for money. So, with that said, most of all of the procedures that I do, or all of them, are procedures that I can do without a physician in my office or supervising. I don't use any prescriptives in the office. I don't do any injections. I don't do lasers. Therefore, these procedures, they may be considered level one procedures, but there's a lot of gain to get out of a procedure like microdermabrasion or microneedling. And again, when I microdermabrate somebody, I do it the way I think I want it done to myself. So I know that there are certain areas that I hope that who's ever doing my microdermabrasion will really get in there and make it a really good exfoliation. There's no graceful way to do a nose. Okay, now I'm going to do the neck. If you could just, yeah, great. So again, here I'm going to be very methodical and I'm going to do it row by row by row. Now, normally a microneedling procedure with a microdermabrasion takes me under 30 minutes, but here I am going to do the face, neck, and décolleté so you can see it all in action. And because I've talked a little bit, moved some things around a little bit, it might take me just a little bit longer than 30, but I'm not here to rush through the procedure, but just to show you that if you're somebody who's going to go mobile, and I've gone mobile and had parties, many of them, I'm going to turn your head this way a little. And so the greatest thing about going mobile is this: you can have somebody set up the party for you, like a Tupperware party, but and have them invite 5 of their friends that want to have this procedure done. And because it's a fairly quick procedure and it's a very social procedure, you can have people watching while you're doing it, then you will be able to monopolize that night with 5 people. They may have the microderm only, they may do only the microneedling, they may do the combo, but either way, you've got a great set of skills that you can offer at a party. And for those of you that don't have an office, and a lot of this happened during COVID when people had to close their offices, I trained a lot of nurses who wanted to reopen their office, but they didn't want all of the trappings of the rent, the electric, all of that. So they decided to go mobile. And upon chatting with me, they realized that they can, as an esthetician, you are held to a different board, and they typically they have laws about going mobile. There's really not, I haven't seen any laws on the board when it comes to nurses going mobile. We can have a home business. I have a dear friend who is a nurse and trains other nurses to be a foot care specialist. They go into assisted livings, they go into the client's home, and or have them come to their office, and they do the foot care that they so need. And they don't have a degree, they're not a pedicurist, they haven't gone to cosmetology school, but they were trained by someone who could help them learn the art of taking care of someone's feet. I think that's great. So that's another offshoot of nursing that I find is very, very interesting. So our microdermabrasion is done, and I'm not quite sure. Let me just see here. Okay. Um, the microdermabrasion is done. Now I'm going to set up the microneedling handpiece. So here we go. Set that aside. So in the box, this is how it comes. And we're using the Rejuvenate, and we're going to use the needle size 0.5. So what I really love about about the serum is fabulous, but what I love about the Dermafrac portion of the microneedling is it also uses the suction technique that we were using for the microdermabrasion. The suction comes into play here too. So as the, you okay? Yeah, yeah. If you want to, you can go out that way, and
I'll be right back.
okay, you take your time. I'm setting this up, and I can chat.
She'll be right back.
Oh, anyway, so now she's out of this chair. What we can do is I can actually speak to this chair. This is the chair that you can get from Minerva. The back goes up, the back comes down a little bit more. It's wipeable, it's portable, it's just awesome. So if you are going to do something like home parties, I highly suggest that you invest in a chair like this, because you never know what clients have in their house, you know, if it's going to be comfortable for you. So I just put on the microdermabrasion wheel here, and here is the serum. Look how much serum is in there, and the serum here will go into the skin. Are we good?
It was a mint. Sorry.
Oh, okay. Well, oh God, you could choke and kill yourself. And I'm not a good nurse, so that wouldn't be a good idea.
You'd have to suck it out with a tool.
Oh, there you go. Somebody's using their head. Okay. So the serum just slips right into the handpiece. And I'm going to connect this. And I just pull out this rubber stopper at the back. And I'm going to start my machine. Now, my machine is set at 3 when we turn it on. And I'm going to leave it right there because I know it's super I think she'll be super comfortable. I'm going to turn your head this way. Okay, you can all see him. If you're watching from TikTok, let me know. Give me a thumbs up or a like or a heart or something. And when I get to this side of the face, my people here on my Facebook group, LinkedIn, or YouTube will be able to see as well. So I'm going to start here, Cindy. Cindy's never had a Dermafrac microneedling, or any microneedling for that matter. So Cindy, on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the worst, how is that for you?
Maybe a 2.
Okay.
2 to 3.
Okay. And when I was talking about the schematic, I usually start on the forehead when I do my microneedling, my microdermabrasion. But this area is a little fleshier, so it is more comfortable than something where the bone is. And if she's a little uncomfortable, I can always turn down the suction. So here I'm at 3. And I'm making these nice row by row. You can see exactly where I have worked. And it is a little touchier in here. Now I'm going to make another pass, but horizontal this time. Now, sometimes I don't make these long sweeping motions because maybe the client has a very prominent cheekbone and it would skip on there. So I might separate the skin out. Okay, and I'm going to leave the eyes for when I'm done. So I just made 2 passes there. I'm going to do this. Okay, same thing here. You guys can see there. Row by row. And I just bring it from the jawline up to under the eye. And a good microneedling is done in a slower fashion, so that every time these needles spin and turn, they're bathed with the Rejuvenate serum that's in the cartridge. You can hear the slurp, slurp, gurgle, gurgle. And a syringe of serum will take you to do a face, neck, and décolleté with 2 passes. So now I'm going to, and see, you can go on the diagonal as well, just so you can see a few different patterns here. So now I'm going to do the chin, the upper lip, nose, under the eyes, and then the forehead. So I try to stay to a structured schematic. And, you know, when you're having these types of parties, we'll talk about that a little bit. So these parties are very easy to get organized. All you need is one of your interested people that will invite some of their interested people. You can have all of your forms online like I do. So once you get people invited and you know their names, you can go ahead, send them their paperwork via their email, a text message, or through Facebook, so that you have all the information that you need on the clients, just like you were doing them in the office. We need to get a history on them. We need to get a consent form, and all of that can be done online. So that's perfect. It's a big time saver. And it also lets you know if you can perform that procedure for the client. You don't want to have them come and then all of a sudden realize that, you know, they have dermatitis and no, you can't perform their procedure. There aren't many contraindications for this. So Cindy, how's this feel over the lip? Is it okay for you?
Sorry, my teeth stuck. I feel it a little more than the rest of the area. I think it's a little more sensitive.
Okay, and it is. Yeah,
okay.
The lips are always a little bit more sensitive. But the reason that this isn't quite as sensitive as traditional microneedling with any device, and I have used every single one of them, is because the skin is being pulled up. So it's not pushing on the bone, which a lot of times if you're rolling, you're pushing on the bone. If you're using a stamper, you're banging on the bone. So again, I always say I want to have it done the way I would like it done. And my upper lip is my problem area. And I know women our age usually feel that same way. Excuse me. So now I'm going to do the nose. No graceful way, just both got the now I'm going to turn it down. And I'm going to do under the eye on a very light setting. But I love these little kisses here. These little kisses are getting serum at 0.5 into the skin. I can work all the way around the eye. I can also do the eyelid. Look how nice and pink. Look at that end point. Now, if you want more petechiae when you're working, you can by putting up the suction, but I find that this is very comfortable and works super good. Let's see if you can see that there. There we go. Ooh, I saw those eyebrows move around a little bit. So, and the serums that we use, this is Rejuvenate, which I love, hyaluronic acid and all kinds of great things. We have a Clarify for those that are working with acne prone, not so much full blown acne, but the clients that are prone to it. We have vitamin C. We have a Lighten that I absolutely love, and I can't wait for you guys to see the results from Lighten, done every 2 weeks on a client that I have, and I will get those pictures to you as soon as I have them. But the Lighten serum uses kojic acid, and that is great for lightening up the skin, for your melasma clients. So I got a lot of questions this week as well as how often can you have something like this done? Well, if you're doing a microdermabrasion, you could have microderm done once a week for 6 weeks or 8 weeks. If you have a condition that you want to get through quicker. But most of my clients are mature. They have nice skin. They've been seeing me on a regular basis. But now they wanted something with a little more zip, and they weren't really anxious to have microneedling done before I got the Dermafrac. Now they love the microneedling, and it does more for their skin than my traditional hydrofacial. So if they want more results, they can use this. Now, you know what? I do want to turn that up just a little bit right here. So here, this is also an area that we really like to get over. And I'm going to do it a few different ways, right? Even here, I might do 3 passes, but do the diagonal. Did that tingle a little bit?
Not bad.
Oh, okay, good. So the forehead, I tend to myself, I break up into different sections because it's a little hard sometimes with the bone structure to keep the suction intact. Her forehead's working pretty well for me though, I will say. And you can see I'm not pushing on the skin. I'm actually pulling like this. I'm letting the suction do the work. Yeah. She has that little ridge there, so I had to break up this in sections. There we go. But look how hydrated her skin is. Look how red it's become, and that's perfectly normal. We love that result. I'm working with 2 different cameras here, so I'm trying to play to both of them. So if looks like I'm playing Twister, I guess I kind of am. So, and then I'll be able to answer some questions for you guys too. And then Cindy, after this procedure, what you'll do is you're gonna, like tonight, you can wash gentle with your fingertips, pat dry, and you can use Definage. She'll be going home with some Definage skincare, which is very compatible with microneedling. So here we go, here. So the neck, I just go up in rows, and you can see how methodical this is. And I make 2 passes on the neck, but I don't go horizontal. It's just a little uncomfortable, and actually it's a little tough to keep the suction. So then what I do is I just double back to do a complete 2 pass. And you want to keep your rows close together. This way your client won't wind up with stripes on her neck. She'll just be one red neck without stripes. Yeah. Over here, great. So you can see how nice and pink, all that great blood flow brings the nourishment that the skin needs. But you know what it also does? It brings waste products, away. So this way your skin will be healthy, invigorated. I'm just going to see here. Yeah. So getting back to the parties, they're so much fun to hold. Once you hold your first Dermafrac party or whatever you want to call it, I'm going to get under her chin here where I can see that usually when I'm making my passes, I might miss because I'm standing over her head. But I know that I don't want any space missed at all. Here, yeah, okay. And then here as well. Now I'm going to do the décolleté. And I don't normally do the décolleté on every client. I stick mostly to the face and neck. Now, if somebody has a really tough time with their that I'm working on in their face, then I'm just doing the face. It depends. You can tailor this any way you want. So again, I want to be methodical. I'm going to start in rows, Cindy's got a nice décolleté. She doesn't have much going on in the skin that needs a lot of fixing. So for me, she would be someone like for a nice maintenance. Once a month, she would love this procedure. Now I'm cross hatching here. Sometimes you need a little skin stretch. I can see where maybe I missed a little spot here. Do this side now. Looks pretty easy, huh? So in a party type atmosphere, this would be terrific. Your clients would be excited about them getting the procedure with their friends in a party type atmosphere. And it's always important too that you want to go ahead and make sure you bring along your skincare that you are currently selling, because clients need good at-home products and you should be the one that they get them from. Let me see if there were any questions here that I needed to get to because I couldn't see. Ooh. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to I'm going to get out of here really. And so I want to, oh, Joy. Hey, Joy, how are you? Yay. I'm going to put on some Definage 8-in-1 Bio Serum, and I will put her under the red LED. So if there aren't any questions, I will go, but I just want you to see how easy it is to clean up as well. The tip here for the microdermabrasion is disposable, so that's going to go in the trash. And so I used every last bit. Oh, I still have a tiny bit of serum left. So if I have a little bit of serum left, what I like to do, I like to go over any areas that maybe were trouble spots for my client. So I'm going to identify a few here that she might like a little bit more love. And usually it's around the eye. So we'll go ahead and give these eyes a little bit more of a kiss. And then the last thing I'll do is do that on the lips. The lips are a fun place to work. I'm going to turn your head this way a little bit because it does give them a little plump action. And I just want to show you too, you can get as close to the eye as possible. Yeah. So long as you're comfortable working around the eye. So I'm going to go ahead and work the lip. And I have it on a gentle setting. But you'll see that those lips kind of plump up nice. And I'm getting all that great serum in there. Very hydrating. So all of the other microneedling devices that I've used, when I'm finished, I've always put on a sheet mask because the skin is dry. Even though I would be using serum, I really couldn't be sure I was getting all of that serum in the skin. With this, I assure you that the skin is so hydrated that you won't need to use a sheet mask. So if you're thinking about doing this mobily, that's why it's only about a half hour long. There is no reason to put a sheet mask on. I do like my 5-minute LED treatment, but for that matter, okay, good, that's good. It's still about 30 minutes. So her skin is super hydrated and she looks really good. I can't wait till she sees. So she'll be a little red for maybe the rest of the day, maybe because it's late here in the afternoon. But by evening, she'll be able to wash her face and use her Definage, and then wake up and she won't be near as red as she is today. So it's really a healthy glow. It's not something that is shocking, or you could still go to the grocery store if you had to. So clients don't leave a bloody mess. So that was the Dermafrac microderm and microneedling procedure here at my mobile station with my mobile cart, my mobile chair. So if you have any questions about going mobile, let me know. I have a whole training on that. I think I'll post that to the group Dermafrac when I get out of here. So if you are somebody that does Dermafrac and you want to come into my group on Facebook, it's called Dermafrac and it's in a group. Come on in and you'll get to see some procedures I'll do, some before and afters, and things like that. So it's been a really great time here. Yeah, it's 40 minutes since we started, and I think I messed around for at least 10. So that was a full face, neck, decollete procedure, both procedures, and it was about 30 minutes. So have a great afternoon, everybody. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments, and I'll be sure to get right back to you. Thanks. Bye.